Hello, Algebra 1 students. This is Amber, the math tutor, and we are doing a graphing review, lesson 1-8, and this is part 1, quadrants and plotting points. So we're going to start here by labeling this coordinate plane, and then we'll talk about ordered pairs in a second, but let's label this coordinate plane. We're going to have an x-axis and a y-axis. So this one, left to right, is the x-axis. So let's just label that. And then this one is the y-axis. Let's label that. And I'm actually going to fill in these tick marks. So this is positive. Anything this direction is going to be positive. Anything in this direction is going to be negative. And then on our y-axis, this is positive going up. I'm going to say positive. And then anything in this direction is negative. So let's label that negative. And then we have quadrants, which is not something beyond this lesson that we talk about a bunch, but we do need to at least know what the quadrants are. And it's really easy to do it once you remember which quadrant is quadrant 1. And quadrant 1 is where you have positive x and positive y. So this is quadrant 1. And we write them with Roman numerals, so it's I. And I'm going to make that little note. Positive x, positive y. And so it does change as you go, like if x is positive or negative, if y is positive or negative, but we get to ignore that for the rest of the way. As long as we know this is 1, then this is 2, 3, and 4. So let's label them. Awesome. And then for ordered pairs, that's what we plot onto this graph here. So, or onto our coordinate plane. So an ordered pair is usually written like this, x comma y. This is our x coordinate and this is our y coordinate. Or for example, we could have like 2, 3. And let's call that point A. And let's actually plot point A at 2, 3. So 2 means we're going to go 2 to the right. We're doing 2 on our x-axis here, so 2 to the right, 1, 2. And then we go 3 on the y-axis. So positive 3 goes like that, 1, 2, 3. And that's point A, 2, 3. So let's graph and label the ordered pairs and then state which quadrant they are in or which axis they are on. So we're going to plot these points and then we'll say which quadrant they're in or if they are on one of the axes. So let's start with Q. Oh, and I didn't label these. There we go. It's a lot more helpful when we have our little units labeled here. So let's do 2, 3. So 2 to the right and 3 up. 1, 2, 3. That's Q. And we can do it like this. It's up to your teacher. Sometimes they just want Q. Sometimes they want Q as 2, 3. And for this, we're going to label them with the actual ordered pair just to remind us which part's positive, like where a positive x will take us, where a negative x will take us, stuff like that. So let's move on to R, negative 4, 1. So negative 4 is our x coordinate. So we're going to move negative 4 on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1 on the y-axis, so 1. So this is point R, negative 4, 1. Let's move on to S, negative 3, negative 5. So we go negative 3 on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put it right there, and we're labeling it S, negative 3, negative 5. Then T is at 1, negative 3, 1, negative 3. And yeah, T is 1, negative 3. Then let's plot U and V. So as you can see, we have a point in each quadrant. And then let's see, where's U? It's at negative 2, 0. So that one ended up on the x-axis. So this one's probably going to end up on the y-axis. Oops, let's label U is negative 2, 0. And then V is at 0, so we're not moving the x-axis. And then we move up 4 on the y-axis. So that's V is 0, 4. Okay, so we've got all 6 of these points plotted and labeled, and now we need to state, and I'm just going to list right next to it, which quadrant they're in or which axis they're on. So Q is in quadrant 1, R is in quadrant 2, S is in quadrant 3, T is in quadrant 4, and then U right here, it's not in a quadrant, it's on the x-axis. And V is on the y-axis.